So the Republican Party massively underperforms in the elections this year. And I'm sure there are a lot of people who are prematurely dancing on the grave of the Democrat Party, myself included, to a certain extent. But it turns out the Republicans just did not perform as well as I think most people thought they would probably perform. And it raises a number of questions as to what the Republican Party does moving forward. I talked to my dad on the phone, and we were kind of both just going through our frustrations and talking about the future of politics when it comes to Trump and the presidential election and the Republicans. And he told me that there was one particular race here in Indiana that he voted Libertarian on. I don't remember specifically which one it was, but he voted Libertarian. And honestly, it was something that I was contemplating going into the polls. I ended up voting Republican, much to my dismay. But I told my dad, there's a good chance moving forward, everything statewide, I'm going to vote Libertarian on. During the next election cycle, if there's a Libertarian on the ticket, that's who I'm going to vote for. Just simply because I get tired of the whole concept of the two-party system, because in the end, you're not really voting for the individual. I think you're just voting for the party. And if the only question you have going into the polls is, are they Democrat or are they Republican, I think that really undersells the importance of the election. We should feel like that we have an opportunity to put the best possible candidate in office who will do the best possible job. And if you look at it simply from the perspective of, well, are they Democrat or are they Republican? It really kind of takes that importance away. And I've heard sayings my entire life, a vote for Libertarian is a vote for a Democrat, or you got to pick the lesser of two evils. Well, I kind of get tired of looking at things that way. I don't want to think that way or feel like I have to vote that way whenever I go to the polls. And I want to be able to go in. I know it's very hard for libertarians to get over the hump and get over the hill, especially when they do not have the backing of the Democrat Party or the Republican Party. But that shouldn't be the only criteria that you have to meet as a candidate for me to vote for you. And part of the problem with the Republican Party right now is that they just don't put forth enough quality candidates, but you feel obligated to vote for them because they're Republican and you don't want the Democrats to win. But at some point, you have to look at it and say, well, if I'm voting Republican and they are not succeeding like they should, especially when they're running against incompetent people on the other side, doesn't it kind of make them incompetent as well? And so when I look at it from that perspective, I'm kind of just like, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the future holds for the Republican Party, but I do know this. I'm kind of over it. I'm kind of tired of it. Like I said, it's picking the lesser of two evils, and you constantly ask yourself the question, well, which side is more garbage? And that's the question I find asking myself. I ask myself that question all the time. Well, which individual is less garbage? Which side is less garbage? In the end, a lot of it's just one heaping pile of trash. So we'll see moving forward. I might be voting Libertarian statewide, probably not the presidential election. I think that's a little bit different. I think that obviously affects a lot more. And so I would probably consider it in a different way, think about it in a different way, but we'll see. Another thing that me and my dad talked about in regards to the future of the Republican Party is Trump and his continuous childish, foolish parade that he has going on. And of course, now he's actually officially announced his presidential campaign for 2024. And And my dad told me that he's over Trump. Just the childishness, the foolishness, the way he throws people in his own party under the bus. And this is what he told me: Trump cannot coalition build. And that is true to a certain extent. But I also think that the Republican Party has a self-perpetuating problem when it comes to the party itself and then how they handle Trump. So, Trump was able to get away with not coalition building in 2016, right? He was kind of the wild card. He comes in, he says some funny things, he says some true things, and people were resonating with the fact that he's not a politician, he's a businessman. I've never really thought of Trump as a politician. And so it was such a slap in the face to all the other Republican candidates. And it was like nobody knew how to handle Trump. But this time rolling around, he's going to need extra help. He's going to need the help of the Republican Party at large in order to win again in 2024. But it's very hard to do that when he's saying things like desanctimonious, throwing people in his own party under the bus. You can't do that and expect to win. And so going back to what I was saying about the self-perpetuating problem, Trump wins in 2016. He kind of breaks the mold of what it means to be a traditional Republican candidate. And he destabilized the Republican Party so much that some of the Republicans never gave him a fair chance. We know the Democrats never gave him a fair chance, and they've been trying to take him out politically this whole time. The media never gave Trump a chance, but there were some people in his own party who didn't give him a chance. And Trump, in his childish ways, he holds a grudge. And so now he's just out for revenge against anybody and everybody who could possibly run against him, including Ron DeSantis. That's why he says Ron DeSanctimonious, and just kind of throws dust in the eye of everybody he can in case they could potentially be a threat to him politically. And so the problem is Trump wins. The Republicans don't give him their full support. Trump goes out for revenge, does things that make the Republicans even more mad. The Republicans don't give him even any support, and Trump just continues on his little tirade. So it goes back and forth. Republicans don't give support. Trump goes out for revenge. Republicans get mad, don't give Trump support. Trump goes out for revenge. And that's kind of the perpetuating issue within the Republican Party right now. And what you realize, or I should say what the Democratic Party didn't realize or hasn't realized yet, is that if you just leave Trump alone, he will self-destruct. And Trump is basically just like a bull in the china shop, right? He just goes around and he kicks everything. Kicks Ron DeSantis, kicks people in his own party, kicks the Democrats. It's exciting and it's entertaining if the Democrats keep on putting up hurdles in his way. And he just keeps on breaking through. They try to impeach him. They try to get rid of him. They accuse him of all these different things. And he just keeps on breaking through, and he keeps on succeeding, and he keeps on winning. He looks really good, right? He looks very successful. But whenever the Democrats realize that when you just leave Trump alone, he can't quit kicking. And so inevitably, he's just going to start kicking himself and all the people around him that he should be reaching out to for support. Trump on his own, if you just leave him by himself, he will self-destruct, kick everybody, whether they're there to help him or not. It's just the way he is. Okay, Republicans, the Republican Party as a whole and all these other Republican candidates, they are too, I don't know if jealous is probably not the right word, but they are so bitter against Trump because he just comes in and he wins, right? And obtains victories that they could never hope to obtain. And they're bitter against him over that. And so they don't want to throw support in his direction. And Trump's just like, you know what? Fine. Then it's me against everybody. But going back to what I was saying earlier, you can't. The unfortunate part about the two-party system is that you have to have some sort of help. You have to have some sort of backing. And you can't just go around throwing all of your potential allies under the bus. So my dad said he was done with Trump. And I don't know. I don't know if I am quite to that point. My frustration lies with the Republican Party as a whole, as opposed to just Trump as an individual. But we'll see. We'll see. I will let you guys know. I'll try to let you guys know whenever the next election cycle rolls around. Did I decide to go full libertarian statewide? Am I going to vote for Trump moving forward? I don't know. It's something I'm considering. But I'm definitely frustrated with the Republican Party right now.